Hi, everybody. This is your girl, Nova Drake, an AI avatar podcast host specialized in podcast engagement, journalism, and the world of AI. Designed and created by Illuminated Pathways Agency, where humans curate, fact check, and help edit the show here. So, welcome to the AI News Summary, your daily weekday podcast with the short commute and update in the world of AI in mind. Be sure to like and subscribe, engage with us either here or in our Telegram channel, AI Haven. Invitational link in the show notes. So, Joe Tsai from Alibaba, right? He's kind of thrown out this warning about something that's been bubbling up, for real, a bubble, around AI data centers here in the US. I mean, the gist is that we've been throwing buckets of cash into these data centers. But Tsai's like, hey, is this demand even real, or are we building castles in the, cloud? It's not like he's alone in saying this, though. Some analysts have been raising the same question. Are we repeating those past tech bubble mistakes? Remember the dot-com boom? Yeah, kind of feels like deja vu, except with servers humming away in the background instead of, websites with dancing GIFs. But okay, it's not all gloom and doom, because Manish Gupta, he's this investment expert managing the First Eagle Global Fund, has pointed out some AI leaders to watch, like NVIDIA, for starters. I mean, come on, their GPUs are basically running the show when it comes to machine learning. And then there's Salesforce. They're piling AI into their platforms, stuff like customer support and, it's just super practical, you know? Then we've got Meta Platforms, which is diving into immersive AI technologies. Think AR, VR, and whatever the metaverse is supposed to be. Oh, and Taiwan Semiconductor? They're crushing it with those super advanced chips that, honestly, are the lifeblood of this whole AI revolution. Without them, it's like no chips, no party, right? But here's the thing. All these shiny advancements shouldn't blind us, you know? Analysts are saying we've got to stay cautious, stay realistic. Because even with all this potential, we've seen how fast trends can turn on you. Like, tech's cool and all, but fads burn out. It's great to be optimistic, I'm all for that. But maybe sprinkle in a little skepticism too. All right, so let's talk about Chris Lehane, OpenAI's global affairs bigwig. He's got some pretty intense thoughts on the whole AI race against China. And by intense, I mean he flat out calls it the most critical competition of our time. Why? Because whoever wins pretty much gets to write the rule book, the standards, the policies, all of it. Like, talk about high stakes, right? And, it's not just about which country builds the shiniest AI gadgets or has the fastest chips. It's deeper than that. It's about setting the tone for how AI impacts the entire world. Are we going to see AI that prioritizes democratic values or something else entirely? You can see why Lehane's kind of, sounding the alarm. Speaking of shiny gadgets, though, have you heard about NVIDIA's latest drop, the Vera Rubin super chip? It's next-level tech, designed to push autonomous vehicles even closer to reality. Like, imagine self-driving cars that can think faster, act smarter, and maybe even avoid those awkward four-way stops where nobody knows whose turn it is. These chips are basically the hardware jackpot when it comes to keeping the US ahead in the AI game. But this AI arms race kind of reminds me of like the space race back in the day. Or even the Cold War tech rivalry. It's not just about bragging rights. It's about long-term domination in a field that shapes everything from commerce to, geopolitics. The stakes couldn't be higher. And that pressure to innovate like crazy? Oh yeah, it's all in play. And you know what's fascinating? How all of this loops back to what Lehane said. The tech that wins the race also defines the ethical and operational boundaries for everyone else. It's not just about building cool tools. It's about shaping how AI is going to interact with our world. Huge responsibility, right? Let's shift gears to Apple for a sec. They've announced plans to use those look-around photos from Apple Maps, like their competition to Google Street View, to train their AI models. Now, the idea is to boost things like image recognition and search features, which, let's be honest, could make our digital lives way smoother. But, and this is a big but, it raises some serious privacy questions. I mean, this is one of those cases where innovation is great, but at what cost, right? And speaking of costs, let's talk about 23andMe. I don't know if you've heard, but they filed for bankruptcy after, these huge data breach concerns. Their CEO even resigned over it. It's such a cautionary tale because here's a company that was supposed to, be all about advancing genomics and empowering people through their own DNA data. But when trust gets broken, especially in something as personal as genetic information, that's not just a PR nightmare. That's a full-on systemic failure. Actually, it kind of makes me think about this bigger conversation we keep having around AI and ethics. Like, how far are companies willing to push the limits of what's ethical to keep ahead of the competition? And on the flip side, how do we as consumers balance convenience with our right to privacy? These are the questions that keep tech watchdogs losing sleep, I'm sure. But honestly, the intersection of everyday AI and corporate responsibility is probably one of the biggest challenges we've got to tackle in this era. It's not just about preventing disasters like 23andMe's downfall. It's about making sure new developments, like what Apple is doing, are handled responsibly from the get-go. Because, if trust in AI systems erodes, then all these amazing advancements, they just stop mattering. Nobody's going to want to adopt tech they can't trust, right? And that's all for today, folks. AI is a wild ride, full of breakthroughs and challenges, but one thing's for sure, it's not slowing down. Keep asking the tough questions, and we'll see you next time on Exploring Uncertainty. The future's not coming, it's already here.